Hi, welcome to Pam Ponders. I am trying something new this week. There is no video for this, just audio. I normally just keep it on the podcast, but decided to put it up on YouTube this week and just see what happens. So let me know if you like it or not on YouTube. There will most likely there's never going to be a video with it because I never know when I'm going to record one or where I'm at when I get inspired. So anyway, let me know what you think and we'll see you next time. Bye. How many of you are looking for answers? If you only had the answer to this problem, everything would be okay. If only you had the answers to what is making me feel so bad. The answers to why you can't get ahead, why you can't have that relationship you wanted, why can't why can't your kids just get along? Why? If I only had the answers, everything would be better. If everyone else would just be good, then I would be fine. Then I would feel great, right? How often do we think that way? Sometimes even say it. If you would just behave, that boss of mine, God, what a jerk. If he'd just get off my ass, everything would be okay. Oh, why can't my partner just chill out and just, if my partner would just do what I say, everything would be fine. Then I wouldn't get upset. So, any of that seem familiar? Maybe you have your own verbiage, your own circumstance, your own happenstance where this happens. I'm telling you in a very kind way, in a spiritual way, that it's up to you to make the changes. No one else can do that for you. No one else can make you happy if you're not happy. And I guarantee you, if everyone else did exactly what you wanted, you'd still be unhappy. You would still be unhappy. This has sort of been the theme for maybe a week or so with many of my clients and students. They just feel so out of sorts right now, so discombobulated. They feel, in some cases, like people are out to get them. Um, and then they internalize it and they become the piece of crap, right? In their own mind. They become the problem. And when you go into that victim mode, you just collapse in on yourself and you can't see the clarity, you can't see the big picture, you can't see to take responsibility for yourself. Now, taking responsibility is not, oh, well, I know it's all my fault. I know I keep screwing up. I know this, I know that. That's being a victim. That's not taking responsibility. That's not standing up and changing your life and taking control of your life and moving forward in a way that's best for you, in a way that is good for your soul. Your highest good is calling you when you are in that place of wanting to blame other people, wanting to blame, oh, that's just always the way it happens. Oh, I'm cursed. I've heard that too. Oh, I'm cursed. My family's cursed. Nothing will ever go right. Everything always goes wrong, etc., etc., etc. So, what I want to, I think, talk about today, I really have not put any thought into this, but how can we move through that to not only see the truth, to gain clarity, but to take responsibility and realize that we have far more control than we know, And control does not always mean I'm going to control you. There are a lot of people with control issues and they're really unhappy. And it's because they're going about control in a different way, in a lopsided way, in a way that's really not even kind for yourself. You cannot control other people. Stay out of their lane. Let them do them. You do you. And open up to who you are and why you are feeling that way. If you're feeling some kind of way, that's on you. That's your responsibility. Sure, it could have been a boss was being a jerk and yelled at you, or maybe your parents shamed you for something, or something happened that was out of your control. Sometimes things are out of your control. Like, let's say you're driving and someone just cut you off. You had no control over that, right? But we have a lot more control than we know. And what we can control is how we respond to any situation, how we feel about that situation, what we think about that situation, how we are at those times when we feel punched in the gut, when we feel like we have no say in anything, that we're not seen, that we're being neglected, that we're being abused. That's part of healing. That's part of taking control of your own life, means to really come into partnership with yourself. I am my best partner. I am the partner that is going to walk this journey, take on this path, take on my purpose, be in this world, the way I express myself, the way that I listen, the way that I take other people's words and either allow myself to crumble or open up to the words or see the truth. It's all about finding what is right for you and what really is the truth, not my truth, not your truth, the truth. When people use that expression, I know I've talked about this before, well, that's my truth. What they're really saying is, this is my experience in this. And I wish people would actually say that as opposed to my truth. It's really sort of ruined that term. But there is one truth, and everyone else has their experience within that truth. So when you're feeling really crappy because there are things going on in your life that you think you have no control over, you can't help it, and you feel like crap, you know what? You can take responsibility for yourself. That's how you move through it. That's how you gain clarity. You stop and you think about why this is bothering you so much and come to terms with it. Very often it's our wounding, right? We have experiences that shape us and mold us as we're children, right? We have those and then they become part of our fabric. And as we get older, we kind of tweak them and move them, or we add things to them that don't belong. And life becomes this misery for us. Are you tired of being miserable? I know I am. I know I am. And there's still going to be times when we do, no matter how much you heal. I have healed so much. And there are still times when things get me down. There are still, it's not, we are wounded as children because we ask to be. I know that's hard to hear, but when we come into this life, we say, these are the things that I want to work on in this lifetime. No one gets out of their childhood unscathed. Not happening. Not, I talk about that too. No matter how fabulous your childhood was, and some people have beautiful childhoods. They really do. In comparison, even though you should never compare, but in comparison to what I had, Yes, compare, and then I had a great childhood compared to some other people. You know, everyone has trauma, everyone has their own experience. It all comes down to what we wanted to learn here, and are we learning it? Are we learning it? And for most people, no, we're not learning it. We're not getting it done. Um, and that happens a lot too. I had a new client this week, and she said she really wants to do some deep healing. She's really ready, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not called the bulldozer for nothing. Spirit really brought it, as Spirit always does. And this person just wasn't ready, was not ready, and was so angry with me at the end of the session. She could barely speak to me. She was just so mad because she wasn't ready to take responsibility. We don't like to hear how much control we actually have. We don't like to hear that we actually did some things that were really unkind. We don't want to see ourselves in that light. We don't want to see that, damn it, we make mistakes. Damn it, we do express ourselves poorly very often out of our experiences, out of our abuses, our neglect, whatever happened as a child. We do take that forward, and we don't want to hear about it. We don't want to hear about it. Even if we do so many things correctly. Let's say you're a volunteer and you help people and you sit with people, whatever the volunteering is, right? Whatever you do as a way to give back to the community. And it's wonderful and it's beautiful, and you should get gratitude for that. You really should. Volunteering can really be a thankless job. I volunteered many times in my life, and it's really pretty thankless. So you really have to go into it knowing who you are and what you want out of it. What is your reason for being here? What is the purpose? And know that what you're doing matters and it makes a difference, even if no one else tells you that. You need to know that. So this happens a lot. We look at all the good things we do in our life, and we think that should just sort of cancel out the bad things that we do, or those things that we don't really like. And that's not the case. Sorry, one does not cancel the other. They are exclusive in their own right. They are, when you volunteer and you do that, that's wonderful and it's good for the soul. And you are, expressing part of your purpose. And then on the other hand, you do some things, maybe you're super controlling and you want to control everyone, and this brings up the anger, and you're not kind. Maybe you shaming language with other people, maybe your children, or maybe you're a boss and it's the people at work, or whatever it is, gossip, all of those sorts of traumas that start to come up, and those are not canceled out because you do these other beautiful things. Does one or the other make you a whole person? Yes, but it's not all of you. It's not all of you. Just because you do one fabulous thing, and you should be recognized, again, you should be recognized for that, but that just doesn't excuse your bad behavior. It just doesn't. And the opposite is true, because in this area of your life, you're kind of a bitch. You're kind of, you're just, you're not the nicest of people over here. That does not mean that you can't be a wonderful, caring, loving person over here in this part of your life. It doesn't mean that at all. And we tend to do that. If you're a bitch in one part of your life, you're a bitch in all of your life. Like the whole thing, you're just a horrible person, and you must be doing that other thing just because you're being phony. You're not being real if you're actually volunteering and being good to people. Excuse me, because over here, you're not. We don't see that. I think that's a real dangerous thing to do. That's a really dangerous perspective to have, whether it's for yourself or for other people. We all have work to do. And I know people don't like this term, but we're all broken. Sorry. When you're broken, that means you can be fixed, right? And we're broken. We're not destroyed or, whatever, decimated, or those words, there's no way out of that. But broken we are. And broken is what we're here to fix. And it starts with being honest with yourself and taking responsibility and accountability for yourself, for your life, what you've done, what you haven't done. Aren't you all ready? I know I'm ready. I am really ready to step up and take responsibility in some parts of my life that just can't seem to get it together. It really gets rough. It really gets hard. I am honestly at a really weird place. If you listen to Pam Ponders, you know that I'm in a weird place right now. A huge transition is coming, and things are just getting uncomfortable. I'm going to use that word. That's the word that came, uncomfortable. I don't like to be uncomfortable. I don't like to know. Here's one of my wounding, that I need to know what's coming. I need to know. Like, it makes me crazy. I need to know what's coming or I don't feel safe. This is something that I'm working on. As a child, you've heard me talk about my childhood a lot, yada, yada, yada. Part of it was I was sort of a pawn. And so I never knew what was real. I didn't know, oh, they just said if I do this, then I'll be rewarded with this. And then the reward would never come. I was sort of to be, when you live in a home with addictions, it's very, they say they're being spontaneous or whatever, and it's not. It's just erratic, and no one really knows what's going on. So when you're a child and you have no resources, you have nowhere to go but just here. The adults in your life need to adult, and they're not. They have their own wounding, their own trauma, their own shit they have to deal with. But as a child, you have no recourse. What are you supposed to do with that? So for me, it became, I need to know what's coming. If my life gets to a point like it is right now, I don't know what's coming. Spirit's not telling me. Spirit is telling me to trust and be patient. Two things that are not easy for me. They're really not. I do trust most of the time. I fully trust Spirit, without a doubt. I have been, and this is what's coming right now. Spirit never lets me down. Spirit always has my back. Spirit is always my safety net. I'm always protected and held and comforted and led in the direction that's best for me. So right now, I know I'm being led in the, okay. So clarity has come. So I'm in this place of not knowing what's coming. I don't know what's coming, and it's stressing me out a bit. As I said before, Spirit is sort of clearing my calendar in certain areas. And when that happens, I know it's because something else is coming. And not knowing is so painful, is so hard for me. It brings up that fear that I'm going to be let down, that fear that I'm going to get hurt, that fear that I'm not going to be good enough, or whatever it is. And I'm sure each of you can sort of put that into your own life and your own situation where that fear pops up and you have no control. And the more you try to get control, the less control you actually have. So for me, of course, that lesson is to be patient and trust. And look at the past. Spirit has never let me down. Never, not once. It may not always look what I expect it to look like because my ego gets involved and says, oh, well, this must be coming, or whatever it is, or just because I'm psychic, I should know, which I might add, we are not psychic about ourselves. Sorry. We're not. Sometimes we can know things that are coming. Sometimes we can know things in our life and we get that information psychically. But overall, no one is psychic about themselves. We're just not. Pardon my, I'm still getting over a little bit of this cold that landed in my throat. So, yeah, so this is a really uncomfortable place for me. And I think many of you, if not all of you, have a place in their life right now that's uncomfortable. You don't know why. Maybe you just can't sit still. Maybe your mind keeps, maybe you're stressing about something, or you're obsessing about something, or a person you're obsessing. Things are going on. That is a really uncomfortable place to be. And that says to me, there's unresolved issues. There is wounding there that's coming up, possibly from a bigger trauma. And it's time to take a deep dive and look at that. Look at what it is that's bothering you, that's keeping you uncomfortable. Now, being uncomfortable is Spirit's way of sort of shaking your tree. Okay, it's time to look at this. It's time, it's time, it's time. That's what Spirit does. And it's to heal, it's to see it. And it has something to do, whatever's coming for you has something to do with that. And when you heal that little bit, and you get more clarity and you understand what you're going through, then what's coming is easier to receive. It is just the way that Spirit works, and Spirit never leaves us empty-handed. So everything we do, the way Spirit brings up our wounding is we get clarity and healing on what needs to come up now, because something is coming and we're going to need all of our strength for it. Does that make sense? So it's never just willy-nilly. There's never just like, oh, there's no reason for this to be coming up now. There's always a reason that this is coming up now, because Spirit has something for you. And Spirit cannot deliver that to you until you've healed that part of you that is uncomfortable right now. And sometimes it's just a piece of the puzzle. It doesn't mean you're going in to fix the entire puzzle, that you're going to have to go back into your childhood in some big way and really do a huge healing like I've had, most of you maybe have had, when your shit really comes up and you have that uncontrollable, ugly cry and you get all these realizations and it all comes out. It doesn't mean that every time you're uncomfortable, that's the solution or that's what's going to happen to heal it. Sometimes it's much smaller than that. Sometimes it's just a piece of that bigger trauma puzzle. So any of you, if you, which I think all of you, actually, I think all of us, kind of it's this time of the year, really, it's this time of the year. If I look at traditional Chinese medicine and what they believe in, they actually have 5 seasons, and winter time, which is what we're in. So this is the external part of it, actual physical winter time this part of the hemisphere, is winter. And that's when we go into a dormant phase. And that's when we really become more like we live with what's going on, is the way I look at it. We go in and we commingle and we hibernate with those things that need to be changed. That's what we're in right now. Now, those 5 seasons can all happen in one day internally. So you can go through, spring to winter all in one day. That's the internal part. But the external part, we're in winter now for some of us. Some of us are in summer. So wherever you are in the hemisphere, some of you are in summer. And that's the full expression of your creativity and who you are, etc. So right now, with the way the planets are aligned and all of that, many of us are in Capricorn season. Capricorn, my grandson is a Capricorn, and whoo, he's stubborn. He's also very determined, and and Carissa, one of my top students who is now on our website, who's now sharing her gifts with everyone. She is also I love Capricorns. Y'all are fabulous. So fabulous, so grounded, so real, so organized and determined and passionate. And I just love you, Capricorns. Yet the other side of that can be really rough, especially for those of us who are not Capricorn. I don't even think I have a Capricorn in my entire chart. Anywhere in my, I don't think I have a Capricorn placement. But it is the time to really commingle with what's going on, commingle with that wounding, commingle with what is time to heal, time to move through, time to get over, time to open up to the reality, open up to the truth, open up to the truth. That's what I want to say. It's time to open to that and to accept it, take responsibility, accountability, whatever it is that you need to do to bring clarity and understanding and accept it. And when we accept it, we can move past it, right? So that's sort of certainly where I am at the moment with this. I need to go in and really, and I know what it is that has me so uncomfortable, this need to know the outcome so badly. I need to know what's coming because I get the feeling of just being so unsafe. It's time for me to really look in there and commingle with it and accept it as part of who I am at the moment. Does not mean I have to stay that person, but right now, today, this is who I am. I don't like not knowing what's coming, and it makes me uncomfortable. And I get really insecure during that time. At those moments, now that's not all day long every day during this, but there's those moments when I'm quiet and spirit brings it up to me. And spirit is telling me it's time to heal this. It's time to get a firm grip on it and understand it. It does not mean that it won't come up again. However, if I do the work now, when it comes up again, it won't be so painful. It won't be so disruptive in my life, because these things get so disruptive and they disrupt everything. They can disrupt our relationships. And that's really the thing in our life that is the most prominent, right? All of our relationships. That's how we get through this life. That's how we learn, we grow, we love, is through other relationships. And so if you're not in relation with yourself, if you cannot accept who you are and these things that come up, and that's not to say, I'm going to say this, That's not to say that you excuse it, that you just say, oh, well, that's just who I am, and you move on. No, 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 no. You are meant to heal that. You are meant to take responsibility for it. You are meant to get not control, but embrace it in a way that is healthy for you, right? What is the best way to be healthy for you in this situation with the tools that you have, taking responsibility for it, with the wounding, you know, how do you manage that? So that's what I'm going to be doing today and the next few days, I'm sure. And thank you all for listening to me. I needed to work that through, and I actually gained much clarity today. So I'm really, really thankful. I am grateful for all of you who listen, because all of your ears help me. Knowing that you are there and you're listening helps me a great deal. And I hope it helps you. I hope you can look at those things in your life that are making you uncomfortable and partner with that uncomfortability, partner with that wounding, get clarity, accept it, and move through it with grace and with ease. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable. We can move through it. We can let it filter through our spiritual body to get better understanding and clarity. If you are in an uncomfortable situation right now, I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to get clarity on that and heal that, because Spirit has something for you. And until you do that, you won't receive. You're not going to be in the place of receiving that thing that Spirit has for you. And I wish that for all of you. I do. I wish that for everyone to be healthy, to walk with Spirit, to know your purpose, to understand the love that is within you, to love yourself, which is our main purpose on this planet, is to love who we are. To love who we are. Okay, I think I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for listening today. I appreciate you as always. And if you want to know anything about me or what I do, you can go to the website. All the links are around wherever you're listening to this. Okay, thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.